hailing from the hoppy waters of the Central Coast of New South Wales. The Rams are no strangers to the touring circuit. The three members of the band found their horns in 2021, but they have countless live shows under their collective belt after spending decades making other artists sound amazing on stage and in the studio. So they figured it was high time for them to get together and do their own thing. Since playing their debut gig in December of 2021, they've performed at multiple festivals alongside countless other bands, and they've supported Aussie legends Daryl Braithwaite and Vicar and Linda Bull, with plenty more exciting shows and festivals on the horizon. Their latest amazing single, Ice Cold Beer, that I played a few minutes ago, follows on from their previous release, Big Time. And both tracks are good examples of the huge sound these three guys pump out at their live gigs, which are always guaranteed to keep their audiences spellbound and begging for more. I'm delighted to have the band's spokesperson, Adam Church, standing by on the phone, waiting to have a chat with me. So let's get him on air right now. How are you, Adam? How's it going now?
Mate, I'm not bad. Thank you for the wonderful introduction.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Credit where it's due, I say. Well, first of all, welcome to the Country Club. It's great to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be here, even though I was a little bit late to the club.
Yeah, I understand you had a bit of an emergency you had to deal with on a building site or something.
Yeah, all these things when you're before you win the Grammys, you've still got to put in the hard yards. So just managing a site and have a couple of kids, thought it'd be a good idea to break in on a Sunday. So here I am on the building site on a Sunday.
There you go. And how many Grammys have you won so far?
Mate, not enough. I think closest I got is a band I was in that won an ARIA back in the 90s. So that's nice, and played on a song that went to number one. So that's good, but it's never the same as it's doing it under your own guys. And the Rams, that's on our radar. Definitely, be nice to get out and just share the music with more people, but definitely be nice to be recognised for the developing the craft as a songwriter or songwriters.
Well, that's not a bad thing to do, and certainly that will put you on the radar if you do it well.
Exactly.
I think, and have a lot of luck on your side as well.
Well, yeah, there's timing,
Yeah.
It's nothing like releasing an album, when the biggest artists in the world release an album at the same time. You sort of, you're in the shadow. But look, our goal is just to just write the best music we can, put on good live shows, and just keep doing it. There's no, we're not doing it for the money. We're not doing it for the fame. We're just in it because we like music, and we're not only musicians but fans of music, and good music.
Yeah.
So that's part of our writing process. We put a song up, and we're like, is it out? Does it stand up against the songs that we love? And if it doesn't, well, it goes on the standby list, and then we try and write something else. But we're having a lot of fun, and there's a new record out aiming for the end of January. We've got an EP coming out in a couple of weeks. I think December 13. We're going to sort of have a bit of a get together and make an EP available.
Okay.
There's a couple of cameos on the next couple of songs that we drop. We've got some great musicians doing little cameo spots, so that keeps it interesting.
Interesting, yeah. That sounds all right. I look forward to that. I might send you a text later after, and with our mailing address, maybe you could send us a CD.
We would love to. It would be a pleasure.
All
So
right.
I'll let little cat out of the bag. One of the one of the best Hammond players in the world, not Australia, in the world, is Lachlan Doley or Lockie Doley.
Okay.
Powderfinger, Jimmy Barnes, Deep Purple. He's a big heavy hitter, and he's actually played on one of the tracks.
Nice.
That we've got coming out. This is a bluesier song, and then there's a great sort of lap steel player called Ollie Thorpe, who was just touring with the Whitlams and Ian Moss and stuff like that. So I've done some gigs with Ollie and sort of, jumped on the blower and said, mate, we need a bit of lap steel on this track. What can you do? And he was strict. He said, mate, I'll do it tonight. So before we knew it, we had some nice ingredients outside the three the three members that, adding that Hammond and adding some slide guitar on the songs are just sort of getting those ideas that are in our head onto those tracks and just adding some different colour to them. So so we're pretty rapt. We have access to these people to add to the songs.
No doubt they'll send you a bill later on.
Mate, there's always a bill.
There's always a bill.
There's always a bill.
Always. Yeah, we've just had some plumbing work done, so yeah, I can tell you all about bills. Don't you worry about that.
In my next life, I want to come back as a plumber, I think.
Oh, the money they charge, unbelievable. They put lawyers to shame.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do.
Excuse me. Yeah. Anyway, did the whole band get together to write the Ice Cold Beer? By the way, I have to say, is an outstanding song. Not only the title appeals to me, but the song itself is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
I'm curious about the inspiration behind it. Well, I suppose the inspiration would be obvious, cold beer, right?
I guess, the big picture for the Rams is we do, like, we were so devoted to trying to put on a good live show that we got a whiteboard and wrote what would be a best opening song ever and what would be the best closing song and what would you put in the middle. Now, mind you, we didn't have any songs. We were were looking for, like, the feel and the tempo and the, our favourite songs, like, because we've all played, with original artists and you know what songs work for them and you've played with cover artists and, you know what people want to hear at the end of the night, at the beginning of the night. So we sort of tried to reverse engineer what a perfect set would be.
Okay.
Big Time was pretty much chest out, here we are, making a lot of noise, are you ready, for the show? And Ice Cold Beer is just a bit of, it's almost like a Hurt So Good, little bit of a parody of, the guy that picks up the girl and then doesn't ring her back, and and he's a bit of a twat. But flip the narrative. This guy's looking for love and he's all out there, and she's as cold as ice. And he's like, you know what? I'm done with women. I'll just stick to beer. It won't break my heart. And that was sort of the premise. So there's a lot of tongue in cheek and in it, but there's always moments of sincerity in the message, and we just want it to be fun because if you haven't heard of the Rams, which if you're on Instagram, jump on the Rams Band Official. But if you haven't heard of it, it's like a relationship. We don't want to come out with our ballads, and pour our heart out in the first sort of sitting. People are going, oh, who are these guys? So we really are mindful that as people get to know us, that's probably 3 or 4 songs in, we can hit you with something a little bit more heartfelt, and you're like, yeah, I know these guys. They've got the beer song and the Big Time and the the bluesy one and the country one, the sort of railway feel song. So there is a bit of method to our madness, but definitely we want to craft a good song, and I think we're really proud of Ice Cold Beer. It's there's good harmonies and good hooks and little counter melodies, and you sort of know what the song is just from the intro, So that's the art of songwriting that we love, and we want to put the time in, when we're in the studio or in the rehearsal room, just getting all the bits right, and then I think we're about 35 songs in written, and we've recorded about 9. So we're well and truly behind the 8 ball, but we're definitely, we laugh. We're not going to have second album fever. Because second one, we're going to have third album fever.
Okay, well, that's a good place to be. I'm just curious after watching the film clip of Ice Cold Beer, where was the pub that was filmed in?
Mate, it was actually a pizza bar on the Central Coast.
Oh, really?
And the director Dave Mullins, who's also a really good bass player, he sort of. We discussed our vision, the band did. We spoke to Dave. Dave said, look, I know how to dress it up. We'll get smoke machines and we'll light it and we'll, and I actually had a factory with the red velvet curtains, so I ripped them off the wall,
Okay.
and set it up behind the kids. So it's a bit literally a bit of smoke and mirrors in that clip. But
right.
I sort of think it sets the scene of the bar and the live performance. And
yep.
We were lucky enough to get sponsored by Capital Brewing for that clip.
Okay.
Which is great. Otherwise, we would have lost a lot of money because the people in the audience, I think they knocked off a pallet of Capital Pale Ale. And, So yeah, sponsorship was, that's what you give them the plug, but they're very handy at the time. Otherwise, the clip probably could have cost double the amount of money.
That would have been a big shout.
I would have been. Well, yeah. I don't think you're going to get away on a cheap bar tab when your song's called Ice Cold Beer, you know.
That reminds me of that Sydney band that call themselves Free Beer, and they put a
beer.
yeah.
Good was that?
What a legend.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, we're running short on time. In fact, we're out of time. But just a quick thank you to you, Adam, for taking the time to have a chat with me on the radio, considering everything else that's going on for you today.
Mate, I'm happy that you got us on here, and we promised to bring lots of new music, and and guys like you supporting it means a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're at Tamworth in January. We have about 4 shows up there. So
Excellent.
There's a music lovers, and you're heading to Townsville. Don't go to Townsville. Go to Tamworth. Yeah, I would definitely say, jump on the Rams Band official, the socials. We'll let you know what the times are and everything else, or the Rams Band official website. And we'd love to see new people there. And it's actually great now. We're starting to play Ice Cold Beer and live, and people are singing along, which is a great feeling. So
right, excellent.
Hopefully there's more of that.
No worries. All right. Well, it's good to hear it's going well for you, and I look forward to chatting with you again sometime next year, hopefully.
Mate, that sounds like a plan.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. All right, take it easy. Have yourselves a good Christmas and a new year, and we'll talk to you next year.
Likewise, and keep the music pumping.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Adam.
Bye-bye.